Today, actually, before we started the episode, we planned to talk about a rather serious topic.
It's a serious topic, but it's also one of the rare incident that happens in the region
Yeah.
because it's a story about adventure,
Mountaineer.
someone who loves adventure, a mountaineer. So it's about a mountaineer from Arunachal. So what are the details that you know? What
I know that he was one man named Tapi Mra, and he went with his assistant.
associate.
He went with his assistant, and I think video surfaced from the second camp that
Mhm.
they put up, and I believe after that they lost all connection with people in the
Okay.
mainland.
So what happened was that
Yeah, enlighten me.
yeah. So because I've been following this news, I was very interested because I love outdoor adventure.
Okay.
I've been advocating, not advocating to people or something, but like to myself, or I would been thinking over it again that, I want to get into adventure sports in the future. If time permits me, if my financial status permits me, I want to promote because Northeast has a huge scope for adventure sports.
Yeah.
But one thing is that we lack in professionalism because we don't have enough infrastructure, we don't have
All
enough
the
trainings,
proper gear, yeah.
all the, taken from the gears that we need, accessories that we need to, pursue adventure as a career. That's what I've been thinking a lot. Even for that matter, if you want to, go out or ride a bicycle or you want to go out for a run, because this region, almost I think more than half of the year we get rainfall, right?
Yeah.
But then imagine there is so less or very less choices where we can choose the brands that provide waterproof jackets.
True.
Right? Forget about other things all these equipments,
The most basic
rescue and operations, all these things, private, organizations that does rescue and all.
Yeah.
Forget about all those things. Just take example of the rain jacket or raincoat.
Yeah.
The basic raincoat that we get it from
Yeah.
from that normal store
Yeah.
where once you start wearing, your entire body starts sweating. So instead of getting wet from outside, we get wet from inside. So we have that kind of quality of when it comes to adventure sport, when it comes to outdoor activities. So coming back to the story, that's what's has been going on in my mind for some years.
Just blurt it out.
Yeah, so what happened was that there's this Arunachal mountaineer. So his name is Tapi Mra.
Yeah.
And he's I've never met him. I would love to meet him.
Yeah.
I would someday if
We've done stories of him before also.
Last year also we did.
Yeah.
Once he's also a general secretary for Arunachal Mountaineering Association.
Yes.
So last time when he was elected as a general secretary, we have done a story. So he was on his fourth attempt to climb one of the tallest peaks in Arunachal. So that peak is called I forgot. I'll have to cross check.
Yeah.
Khyarii Satam.
Okay.
So Khyarii Satam. I don't know if I pronounce right in your local Thai. I don't know because
Yeah.
I've never met a local guy who's helping me to.
We don't mean to
pronounce it.
offend anybody.
So it's one of the highest peak. It is at the height of 6,890 meters, and it's cute. It's quite high actually.
Yeah.
So it was his fourth attempt that he tried to climb this peak, and what happened was that it was in August 17.
Okay.
That was the last day when he got in touch with other porters who have helped him to carry his things
Okay.
towards Camp 1 and Camp 2, and then they came back. So it was last. So what they did was there were 6 other porters. So they came back, but then 2 of them Tapi Mra and his
assistant.
So I'm talking not like, because I'm not getting the ground report. I'm talking on all this news media that I have gone through. I have read the articles.
All the
so
reports
if
already
my
available.
fact is wrong, I'm telling you in beforehand. Correct it yourself. You know,
It's
but
all
I
taken
tried
from-
my best to get the facts
Yeah, we're
right.
taking it from whatever information is available
Yeah.
online.
Yeah, someday I would like to go and like
Yeah, of
interview
course, of course. Yeah.
and like get the ground report and things like that. But then there's so much we can do, because at the end we are not journalists. Also.
Yeah, yeah,
We are
yeah.
just trying to make content
Yeah.
and tell a story
Yeah.
about somebody else. So what happened was that Tapi Mra is 30. He was at 30. I don't know. I forgot his age. 30 something years.
30 plus.
37 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, I just remember. He was 37 years old. So, and then his assistant was just 22 years old. Both of them, they're, like from camp 2. So, there's like base camp 1, camp 2. And then from camp 2, both of them set out, like to climb one of the highest mountain in Arunachal Pradesh. So, what happened was that, so in August 17, that was the last time they got in touch with the other team members for the expedition.
Yeah.
And then the other team members, I'm not sure whether they waited or they came back. But on August 27, so after, it should be around, according to reports that I got, it should be around, so August 17 and then August 27, it was like 10 days.
10 days, yeah.
So after 10 days, maybe they were waiting there, but then they didn't get any information or they didn't come back. So what they did was the 2 porters that were waiting in the base camp, they returned.
Okay.
They returned to the nearest town and they reported about the missing, Tapi Mra and his associates, and they were not returning. So they reported that, and the second day on 28th August, the rest of the boarders came back. They were also still waiting, and then they reached that place. And it's a very challenging terrain, because I heard that it takes around at least 7 days to reach that, the base camp.
Okay.
And Arunachal is a
first base camp.
wild place. What?
It takes 7 days
Yeah,
to
it's
reach
a first.
the
from,
first
from
one.
the nearest town.
Okay.
Imagine the journey that they have to go
Yeah.
through, carrying all these huge equipments and
Yeah.
camps and tents and all that. And you will get to know what Arunachal is once you've been there.
Yeah.
It's a wild place. Mountains are so steep. Because I also come from a mountain region, right? But then I've never seen mountains so steep. It's just it's just
Massive.
like a wall.
Yeah.
It's so overwhelming. Because when you see that mountain so big, just as a steep.
Yeah.
Because we come from hills, not
Yeah.
actual mountains.
Hills versus mountains.
Hill versus mountain. So Arunachal being a very wild place, so they set out, and also remember that Tapi Mra is not an inexperienced mountaineer.
Yeah.
He has already climbed Mount Everest. So some of that, he was the first. In fact, he was the first guy from Arunachal to summit Mount Everest. It was back in 2009, May 2009. And then also he has done some more expeditions. I think he has done in Island Peak or Imja Se. So it's almost 6,100 something, 60 meter in Nepal.
Okay.
And few other Mera Peak in Nepal. He did Mount Everest in 2009, Uhuru Peak of Mount Kilimanjaro, and he did in Australia Mount Kosciuszko. I'm okay.
So
in
he's been all over the
2011,
world.
yeah. So he has been submitting few bigs around the world. So we can't call him that he was an inexperienced or maybe he had few ideas, because he has experienced all these mountains. So what happened was that the base camp is at the altitude of 5,000 meters.
Okay.
So from the base camp, and then you have to, the nearest village, it's 6-7 days from the base camp, right? So when the news came in that they were lost by August 29th. So everyone was like, worried, especially I'm
Obviously.
sure their family members and the close ones have been worried. So, and Khyarii Satam, this mountains is located in like the border of like Indo-Tibetan border. So it's locally, I think the tribals call is Mount Chuimo. So they have this local name, Mount Chuimo.
Okay.
So because I knew it because like I was looking for this on Google when I was looking for I wanted to check like what's happening or how because I'm so interested in Google Maps and things like that. I always give
Google
search,
Earth.
yeah. So I was looking for Khyarii Satam and I couldn't find it. Then
Okay.
I found that locally they call it Chiumo. Chiumo. Chiumo.
Okay.
Then when I Google search it, I could find that the mountain, and then I checked the mountain, the altitudes, all those things that I need to find the information about.
Okay.
So it happened like that he was lost, and then he couldn't be in touch, or like there was no news about him.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened was that the Arunachal government was alerted.
Okay.
Friends and families and all this mountaineering association were also alerted. And then because like by the end of August only it was being alerted. So by September they started SAR, search and rescue operation. So search and rescue operation was conducted by a joint team of Arunachal government and Indian Army and like lots of local mountaineers and lots of local porters as well, because they have to carry the equipments, for all the experts that's going to for search and rescue operation. So, but then it was just for a week. That's what, according to what I read online, it was just like from 1 to 5 or 6, like they were looking for it. And on 6, they had some difficulty.
Okay.
So, of course, one bad weather.
Hmm.
You know the region, like how the weather
yeah.
changes. Like even in Guwahati, sitting here, we see like
We cannot
rapid
tell.
change in weather.
Yeah.
Some early morning there's like heavy, like hard sunlight, and then evening there's
Evening
like
light.
rainfall.
Everything is flooded.
Imagine in hilly areas.
Yeah. More
It's like
extreme.
every hour the weather is changing.
Yeah.
So the rescue operation team had a very difficult time, like because of the heavy rain, because of all these weather conditions and all. And what they did was they launched another rescue operation after, like, when the weather was cleared, things like that.
Yeah.
And on September 10, around, I think it was on September, they launched a helicopter, like around like 2 cheetahs, according to reports, 2 cheetah helicopters,
Okay.
and 2 advanced, what you call ALH or something like that.
Okay.
Okay, let me check.
So it's like military grade choppers and all.
Yes. So what they did was, so they took all these helicopters and it's called advanced light helicopters, ALH.
Okay.
So all these helicopters, they flew, and then until September 11, like just recently only, they were going and searching, and then they reached the camp 2, and they found like few footmarks. The photos are also
From the
been
second
released.
camp?
Yeah, second camp.
Oh, okay.
Because from the second camp, you are supposed to go to the peak.
Peak, okay.
To
Okay.
submit that. So they found few footmarks and all, and then the sad part was that, I don't know, it's too early to say that all this to come into conclusion what would happen to them.
Since we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. But it's almost been 1 month. Like if they got lost in August 17, so now what's the date now? Today is September 13.
13.
So it's almost about to be a month.
Yeah.
So what happened was that, so when the helicopters went on September 12, they found, the sky was clear, the weather was suitable for search and rescue operations. So they
Yeah.
flew around that mountain. So there are some photos being released by Indian Army, and then in that photo they have given some locations where the base camp was set, the footmarks which they, like from from the base camp to the camp to. So all these footmarks are being shown in the photo. And one thing like they found out was that there was lots of avalanches happening, and also they call it crevasse. Crevasse is a type of a glacier crack.
Okay.
So once the crevasse occurs, then you can fall down into that crevasse, and then there's no return. There's no point of return because it's so difficult to climb the crevasse and all. It can be like 100 foot deep, like 200. It depends on how thick is the glacier. So they found few crevasses and also avalanches around that area. No conclusion was given. And I don't know, it's such a sad story. I mean, sometimes like someone who loves adventure sports or someone who follows like people who does mountaineering, like I just wish, suddenly he and his associates, Tapi Mra, he just appears out of nowhere from different side of the mountain, and then they're still found and they live to tell their story, all this, all the things that they have to go through. I just wish.
Do you believe he's still alive?
I don't know, like looking at the terrain and then the amount of the duration of the days that they have been lost.
And the evidence that we got now that there were
evidence that
evidences
the army got, it's difficult for them to be alive. I don't know. Because, see, when you go there, like, I've seen like few documentaries and things like that. No, it's one thing that they are very specific about is amount of load they carry. So it has to be very specific. You have to plan, like you submit at that like limited time, limited days. That's how they carry, because you cannot carry extra load, because you have to climb up. And up. It will only pull you down.
Hang by ropes and all that,
Yeah. So if it's not because of avalanches and all things like that, it definitely because of lack of food. That's what I feel like. I'm sure that they have not carried like food for 1 month.
1 month, And also
and the terrain is such that you will only find ice, because I've checked, and all these photos that has been released by army.
There's nothing but snow.
Nothing but snow and rocks.
And also, so you saw the videos that were released from the second camp, no?
Yeah.
So in that video also we can see that they don't have
too much packages.
And also like what they were wearing is not appropriate for where they were.
Because I'm not an expert, I cannot comment on what they're wearing and all.
Obviously.
But like Tapi Mra seems like he's okay because he was wearing like proper mountaineering jacket. But his assistant was looking a little bit off, because he looked like he was wearing just a normal cloth that you wear in any winter season, like cotton clothes and all. But those at this altitude and those terrain needs different kind of clothing, right? Because the frost, the wind.
Yes.
Imagine like the weather can change within like an hour. So that's what it is. But I just wish and pray. That's my prayer that
we all pray. We all hope for his
return,
safety.
and then at least the government does enough support.
So
at least there is a conclusion for the family. That's what we want, a conclusion.
Also, this should be a opening, like an eye opener for the all the like relevant authorities and everyone.
Exactly, that's what it is. Initially, that's what I started with. That when I wanted to talk about this story, I wanted to talk about like the professionalism that we don't have in the region.